Hello, hello. I'm back. Now, I have until 8 o'clock to get the entirety of... there we go. To get the entirety of the Stormsblood and Shadowbringers summon requests done. I think it's doable, but it will be close. So, no dallying about. I'm gonna get right into it. Arndel, I've had the most fascinating news. It would seem that the ruins of ancient Allag have yielded to us a tome containing unknown secrets of the Summoner's Art. The tome in question is currently being kept under Rambro's watchful gaze at our dig site in Mordona. I'll be heading there shortly myself, but I would not begrudge you an earlier peek. Still here, I'd have thought the existence of an unknown work of the art of summoning would have had you flying along the currents of Aether to Rambro's side by now. I'm also running on, my coffee is undrunk next to me, so this will surely have interesting effects. Nope, wrong person. Ah, I thought you might be along. Here, Arndel, a prize such as this should be in your keeping. Funny book. We uncovered it not terribly far from where we excavated the evoker's attire. I've judged the tome to be some manner of manual for force summoning magic. But alas, I was unable to decipher the writings. 'Tis fortunate then that such a task falls directly within Yamitra's field of expertise. Speaking of which, would you mind taking the book to her yourself? She sent word that she had been held up by some jury business in Revenant's Toll. Pray do be careful. Wait, no, hang on. Were you able to find Yamitra in town? I can think of no better suited to unraveling these secrets within the Allagan tome. My apologies. A trifling but unavoidable matter prevented me from making directly for the dig site. Now, shall we take a closer look at this Allagan tome? Oh my, 'tis rather more shabby than what I've come to expect from the great works of Allag. But let's not be discouraged. The content is what truly matters. A fine observation. Principa, at your service. I am a humbly familiar with the doctrine of summoning. Have we woken a sentient tome from some ancient library? Arndel, we must keep it contained. Have I somehow given offense? Strange, for I am not equipped with offensive capabilities. Imparting the art of summoning is my function. An instructional manual is my form. A manual, you say? Correct. When opened in the presence of summoners, I am bound to awaken and share with them the secrets of summoning. The young master here is in possession of an active soul crystal, yes? 'Twas the soul crystal that awoke you. Correct. Only one who carries a soul crystal and has bathed in the aether of an icon may wield the powers of a summoner. I sensed one worthy of instruction and was thus compelled to introduce myself. Icon. That is the elegant word for primal. Excuse my need to clarify the obvious, but you are a construct created to teach summoning magic to any potential student you encounter. Why would the ancients have deemed such a thing necessary? Summoning came into being for the purpose of eliminating beings, specifically those beings known as icons, primals. Once these entities have been vanquished, however, new energy cannot be harnessed. Old summoners perish, and so too does their art. It was upon glimpsing this bleak future that a certain master summoner set about crafting yours truly. Inscribed with arts of tremendous power, I exist to teach others how to safeguard their existence. Fascinating. Your creation speaks to the heart of the discipline's rarity. Summoning harnesses the power of primals for the sole purpose of destroying them, and new summoners arise only in an age when primals are rife. With the absence of living mentors, a true succession of the art is never achieved. Principa, are you then to instruct Arntel in the lost secrets of Allag? I am eager to oblige, but there are certain obligations. Ere the seal upon my higher knowledge can be unlocked, the student must first overcome the 3 challenges I am ensorcelled to present. Well, considering how it refers to primals as icons, I'm inclined to believe that we have an authentic Elgan relic on our hands. What say you, Arundel? Will you undertake these challenges? So is it speaking Elgan? And I have an auto translator, so it's fine. But like, she's simply so fluent that it's like not even worth mentioning. The first challenge is a test of power. This trial is designed to evaluate the raw magnitude of your arcane talent by pitting you against a predetermined opponent of carefully measured fortitude, also known as I manifest a monster and you fight it. Mayhap not terribly wise to attempt that in the middle of town. Why don't we find ourselves a less populated area out near the Singing Shards? It always comes back to these Singing Shards. Are you prepared for this test of power, which would seem Principa is but waiting on your word? Shall we begin the test of power, Master? Master, you treat your people as superior, Principa. Such was the way in which I was written. And if my full name begins to tire your tongue, you are welcome to call me Prin or Pia. Oh, I rather like Prin. I mean, let us proceed with the challenge. Oh no. Well, I don't even need to have my carbuncle out. Hang on. A fine showing, Master. Even the greatest elegant summoners would be forced to recognize the extent of your extant power. A crushing victory, Arntel. Who could argue the potential of modern summoning after that display? You have bested the first challenge, Master. There are few summoners in Allag's long history who boasted this degree of native might. Furthermore, that you have achieved such potency through naught but the study of ancient wisdom is simply astonishing. With a little polish to your technique, guiding you to loftier heights of power should be astonishingly simple. I thought Arentel's technique more than sufficiently polished, but you say there's room for improvement? I see we shall have to adjust our Yalmstick for perfection, if we are to rival the practitioners of the past. Indeed. If you would know more of past practices, then you need only ask. Actually, I do have a question for you, if you would indulge me, Arentel. Prin, in which age were you created? You appear to lack the technological advancements that were predominant in constructs in the later days of Aleg's civilization. Another excellent observation. I was penned by Master Sari, a preeminent summoner of his time. He was, in fact, likely the last master summoner of the Allegan Empire's reign. Were I to date myself, but by your culture's notion of history, my creation would have taken place at a point just before the Empire's collapse. In other words, solidly within the richest era of theochemical discovery. One might reasonably wonder why this wonderful science was excluded from my invention, and I assure you there is a reason. In the beginning, the Allegans rose to superiority through their mastery of magecraft. It is told that the very first wielders of summoning magic made do with grimoires fashioned of leather and ink and parchment. There came a tipping point, however, when the mundane sciences began to progress with ever-growing rapidity. These advances were married with the arcane, and etherochemical technology was born. Even as the harnessing of lightning energies gave rise to new recording mediums, techniques were developed that allowed complex arcane geometries to be instantly plotted. Traditional grimoires were replaced by devastatingly effective and elegant weapons. The convenience of these tools, however, did not lend themselves well to the instruction of initiates. Beyond such considerations, the new mediums could not be pursued without dedicated machinery, and their manufacture was no simple matter. And so, the summoner who breathed life into you decided that tombstones and the like were not the ideal method for passing on his accumulated wisdom. Correct. He chose for me the primitive form of a book, and inscribed within my pages a bounty of potent incantations that required no machine to be cast. Thank you, Prin. I thought only to satisfy my academic curiosity, but I found myself swept up in your description of the past. You truly are the creation of an incredible age. And thank you for your patience, Arentel. Shall we return to Gridania? Fuck off, Gemini. I never even asked for you, Gemini. I'd much rather uninstall you, Gemini. Oh. Arndel, you've been well, I trust. I'm trying to bend Yamitra's ear, but she seems a little distracted. Not that I can blame her. Have you seen this hopping book? I'm fairly sure I caught a flash of teeth in between those pages. You are probably right. Welcome home, Master, or should that be welcome back? I'm told this is the base of your research efforts with Lady Yamitra. But I am unsure of the correct salutation. I only have 4 Fantasia, I found out yesterday. After this. Well done, Arntel. We are one step closer to revealing a new secret of Ancient Allag. Prin will issue the next challenge after you've had the chance to review your studies and hone your abilities to a new level of perfection. I've decided to keep the familiar here at my side for the moment. Even with as many wonders as Eorzea holds, folk tend to panic at the sight of a fanged tome that jumps around of its own accord. Oh, and pay no mind to Captain Wolf, he obviously wishes to secure my services for some task or another. But we have more important matters to attend to. Wait. Nope. Are we the same too? Yup. Greetings, Arntel. It would seem that Prin would speak with us about the second challenge. Congratulations, Master. You are sufficiently prepared to undertake the next test. Excuse me, Prin, but how can you tell? By analyzing the patterns of Master's ethereal emanations, I can gauge the strength and precision of his recent cast incantations. Of course, Master must attempt the challenge itself before I can provide an evaluation to the proper degree of accuracy. This will be a test of skill to administer this trial under the prescribed conditions. However, I must request the assistance of several more summoners who play the role of antagonists. Several more summoners. In this day and age, that will be no easy feat to arrange. Come now, Yamitra. The solution is right under your nose. Arndel, your deeds have caught the attention of the highest echelons of the Flames. After learning what you're capable of, we've begun an initiative to take our very own summoners into battle against the primals. A number of soldiers under my command have already begun intensive training. I handpicked veteran survivors of our expeditions against Ifrit, and they've been issued with soul crystals we claimed from the Ascians. I, and Captain Wolf has been howling in my ear for days, begging to enlist your aid as some kind of drill instructor for the etherically gifted. But now you're in need of summoners for this trial of yours, yes? I am prepared to offer my regiment's full cooperation. All I ask in return is a few morsels of advice for the acolytes. It seems to me a fair trade. My enchantments do not restrict me from instructing neophyte summoners in the fundamentals of the art. Very well. I suppose an arrangement could prove convenient for us all. I knew you'd come around. Meet me at Camp Blue Fog, and I'll assemble the troops for inspection. As mentioned, the second challenge will be a test of skill. I shall be evaluating your technique for flawless execution and executed flaws. We should meet Captain Wolf at the camp. Then we'll find a nice open space somewhere in northern Thanland to conduct the second challenge. I did warn him, however, that you're far too busy to train his soldiers on any kind of permanent basis. I am, technically, though not presently, a moderately high-ranking member of the Immortal Flames, so he could probably get my hands tied on this. Although, again, not currently. Presently tied up with the Maelstrom. Don't intend for that to change. I am told we are to be your opponents for this exercise. It's an honor to meet you, sir. Summoner Denise at your service. We ain't started yet, have we? Looks like we're all here. Let's get on with the briefing, shall we? As you command. This second challenge will evaluate the elegance of your technique as opposed to the magnitude of your miasma. First, I shall infuse the edgy of your opponents with secondary enchantments, and then you are to engage the entities in combat. Prin explained to me that the enchantments store the aether expended during the battle and allow for an in-depth analysis of your flare for death flares, as it were. In any case, I expect you'll pass with flying colors. Right. I suppose you should know who you're up against. Designation and rank. Summoner Crispin, Private First Class. We're grateful for aught you can teach us, sir. Summoner Denise, Sergeant. I'm new to spellcrafting, but I've seen my share of combat, sir. Crispin and I are to fight as a pair. Summoners Summoner Samu, Lieutenant. Ye've more than a few admirers in the barracks, Arntel, sir, but that don't mean we'll go easy on you. Enough chatter. Quick march to the training ground. Give the word to Crispin and Denise when you're ready to battle their edgy. After that, you'll be facing off against the Lieutenant's Beast. You won't be attacking my troops directly, so give it all you've got. Out of curiosity, here it is. Captain, which means... Oh no, he outranks me, fuck! No! Oh well. I have long since given up any hope that they'll finish expanding that system. It's just never gonna happen. I will never be able to become fucking... Wait, no, I do outrank him. Fuck, I was looking the wrong way. Shit. One day. Surely. They can't ignore it forever, right? I outrank all of you. Oh wait. Oh shit. Prepare yourself, sir. Denise and I will also summon our servants to battle. I, a pair of Ifrit edgy for you. Fair enough. Outstanding. Speak with... I missed dialogue. Summoner Jaja Samu to continue the challenge. The enchantments were also meant to strengthen the edgy somewhat, well, that hardly seemed to matter to you. An excellent performance so far, Master. Pray continue with the test. You finished warming up on the members then, because even together, me, mates edgy don't hold a candle to the inferno I can summon. Right. Let's bring the flames. Oh no! Mine's better though. I don't think there are. Did I kill it so hard the game bugged out? Okay. I had hopes for that one, but he snuffed him out right quick. Not much of a trial, eh? Well then, you're lucky I fought another primal during me time with the Company of Heroes. You're not the only summoner as can command more than one ethereal beastie. Say hello to your final opponent, Titan Edgy. Oh shit. Mine's still better. I commend the attempt. I hope my summoners put up enough of a fight for you. Anyway, shall we hear what the book has to say? I've ruminated upon the swirls and echoes of your battle, and the picture is clear. Your technique is, without a doubt, a thing of exquisite beauty. Consider the second challenge conquered. Well, that's good news, if hardly surprising. After all, you did sweep through those edgy like a storm through a field of dandelions. Methinks you've opened me eyes. I see I've some work to do before I've truly mastered this discipline. I'm glad to know we've enough service. Now we really must be returning to Gridania. Thank you, sir. This was truly an enriching experience. I pray train with us again in the future. I am annoyed. Why? Why? The map revamp system where you're not clicking on the title, you're clicking on the region would be cool. It'll never happen, but it'd be cool. One last challenge remains. Pray win through this trial, lest the higher knowledge I hoard remain lost. Congratulations, Arentel. With your impressive demonstrations of power and skill, you have already conquered 2 of Prin's 3 challenges. Ere we come to the final trial, however, Prin would further our education on Allagan summoning. First, I would ask, what do you know of the rise and fall of summoning in the Allagan Empire? I was made to cover rather a lot of history, you understand. From our research, we've learned that summoners were initially lauded as heroes for their success against the primals. When certain of these mages began to abuse the art's power for personal gain, however, the adoration of the populace shifted towards an oppressive hatred. Correct. We speak now of the latter half of the Third Hostile era. My creator, Master Sari, was one of those who expended his energies on the destruction of primals, even as he fled from relentless persecution. Alongside his disciples, he triumphed over Belias and many other lesser entities. Belias, that was the name of the elder primal from whom Tristan once drew power. Master Sari must have been mighty indeed to defeat such a foe. Yet he still knew fear. The thought that the grand discipline of summoning would fade into oblivion was more than Master Sari could bear, and so he sought to preserve its legacy and provide for us his successors. My creator was well versed in etherochemistry and held a particular interest in the technology of information. Broadly speaking, he researched methods for producing arcane geometries without grimoires, and experimented with machine-enhanced Egi. He eventually abandoned both of these technologies, deeming them unsuitable for the instruction of future generations. Hoping to provide guidance to those summoners yet unborn, he instead began writing and enchanting a work that would survive down the ages. He made me. Such an accomplished personage. Why then have I seen but scant mention of his name in Allag's histories? As you have said yourself, it was an age when the adulation of summoners was experienced in extreme reversal. and it's likely that Master Sari's achievements were struck from the records, even as his loyal pupils were struck down in the streets. I was shut in a storeroom, abandoned to my slumber, like some common treatise on trade agreements in these southern provinces. And thus I can tell you naught of what befell my creator in his later years. I expected a dry recital on the history of summoning, but you shared with us your personal narrative. It is clear you hold a great deal of respect for Master Sari. I am a familiar. I simply relay information as I was inspelled. This lecture is now over. As you wish, Prin. Well, Arentel, it would seem class is dismissed for the moment. I suggest you recuperate from this day's trial. I look forward to preparing, and look toward preparing yourself for the future. Well, one last challenge remains. Pray win through this trial, lest the higher knowledge I hold remain lost. Horde. The time has come, Arentel. Prin is ready to administer the final trial. Yes, your third challenge is at hand, Master. I shall be glad to at last share the wisdom that has long lain dormant within my pages. Thus far, we've had evaluations of raw power and refinement of skill. What then will this third challenge seek to test? That I cannot tell you. Cannot or will not. I do not keep this detail from you for the sake of my own amusement. It must be secret. Were you aware of the test's purpose? Such knowledge would unfairly affect its outcome. What I will tell you, however, is that this trial requires conditions that are akin to an actual battlefield. As such, I must ask that you call fellow summoners to your side and arrange a location where you might join hands against a most realistic primal threat. Well, this ought to be welcome news for Captain Wolf. I shall see if his acolytes are available. Greetings. This is Ymitra. Ymitra of the Sons of Saint Quinak. I have a favor to ask. Well, Captain Wolf was more than eager to accept our request. He even offered to arrange exclusive use of a section of Seal Rock. It seems that there will be an airship awaiting us in Ul'dah to fly us to the island. Shall we rendezvous at the landing once you are prepared then? Pray ready yourself, Master, that you are not reduced to so much gruel. This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Pray ready yourself, Master, that you are not reduced to so much gruel. Make for Ul'dah when you are ready, Arentel. There should be an airship waiting to take us to Seal Rock. I hate it here. I hate it here. Why? I hate it. Stop. So I think it's an emergent issue with how big the fucking map is now. And that said, Mara City is right here, man. You know, I think that next expansion is going to take us up here, where the Rogadin come from. or they could heel turn and we're going to Meracidia, boys. I don't know. I really want to go to Meracidia. I've really wanted to go to Meracidia for why did you stop? Because you didn't. For a long fucking time. Someday soon. Surely. At some point they have to, right? Like, it's right there. It's right there. But, like, is that Vritra? Anyway, it's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind getting, like, this as a print. I think they sell it. Like, I'd want it to be like high enough res where, like, I can read all the text and, like, what does this say, you know? What are all these? Actually, I think I figured that out, like, immediately, actually, you know? Maybe not, actually. I thought that was Doma for a second. So, yeah, what are these? Oh, this is Valley Garmanda. So who the fuck is this? Can I help you? Captain Wolf and his squad of summoners await you on Seal Rock. Permission has been granted to use the island for your exercise, but we must ask is that you avoid damaging the relics. This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Get a new line! I don't know about you, Arentel, but my nerves are beginning to get the best of me. Captain Wolf and the others have already landed on Seal Rock, so let us not delay the challenge any further. Who could that be? Oh, Summoner Jajasamu. How might I? Pardon? But by who? Lieutenant? Can you hear me? Blast. The call was cut off. Arentel, our immortal colleagues are under attack. Their situation sounds dire indeed. All the summoners are crippled by injuries, and Captain Wolf alone fights to keep the foe at bay. Our planned battle has become rather more real than we anticipated. We'd best explain matters to the pilot and arrange a rescue party. Ambush, you say? Understood. Let's roll. I'll put in a call for reinforcements. My ship is ready to depart now. If you are, shall we go in ahead? Crispin? All of my things. The others, we became separated. His wounds are not too serious. Come, Arentel, we mustn't tarry. Are these edgy? Yeah, they totally could use the Abira for the Sephiroth edgy. Of course, they'd be spaced out enough where my AoEs don't actually hurt them. I'm getting beat the fuck up. Man, if only I could, like, switch to an edgy that gave me more defense or something. Wouldn't that be a crazy idea? There we go. Don't worry, I can cast Physic. It'll do something. I can help, I swear. Give me 13 more levels and I can summon Phoenix. I can cast Raise. Well, that's not good. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't have a Suna, so, oof. Oh, he's an old summoner. No, he's gonna fucking dot my ass. I'm fucked. He's gonna fucking, try disaster me. Max out my fucking debuffs. I'm fucked. Well, that's not good. We gotta, ooh. Anomalous potential confirmed. Commencing scan. Omega. Latent ethereal capacity immeasurable. Standard parameters exceeded. Reinitializing system. Who? What are you? What? He wants to go another round. Master Sari, how have you come to be here? Master, surely you do not mean that, Sari. Ah, Principal, they have woken you. This should suffice. What did you do to Prin? The construct is unharmed. I simply added another layer of security. Do not disappoint me, Summoner. I will be waiting. How odd. The way he vanished was almost as if Thal's teeth. What was that all about? We'll discuss this back in Ul'dah after we've seen to the wounded. I felt Thal's hand on my shoulder for a moment there, but Ms. Yamitra's magics brushed it away. Thank you for coming to our rescue. That bloke called up an army all by himself, and I'm pretty sure some of them weren't edgy. I didn't know that kind of thing was even possible. That was like a nightmare. What manner of summoner can command so many edgy at once? I miss Yamitra. You arrived in the nick of time, Arntel. Thanks to you, my soldiers survived that ambush, and they'll be fit for duty again after a bit of rest. Aye, you have our gratitude. If you hadn't plunged into the fray like that, we almost certainly would have perished. Ye said that bastard was Master Sari, didn't he? A summoner of ancient Allag. Did them mages have some way of coming back to life? Alright, Lieutenant, let's not jump to conclusions. Well, he was wielding summoning magics unlike aught we've ever seen before. Maybe Prin has some idea. I should ask. Come, Arntel. Let us return to Gridania. Oi! What misfortune that such an incident should occur on the cusp of your final challenge. Well, what is meant to be Arntel's final trial was certainly testing, to say the least. Tell me, Prin, what makes you so sure that that was Master Sari? Based upon the evidence at hand, there can be no doubt. The vocal and ethereal signatures were identical to those exhibited by my creator. The only aspect that gives me pause is his behavior. Master Sari was never one to offer harm to others with such callous indifference. I would say there is a larger inconsistency to consider here, Prin. Your creator supposedly died several thousand years ago. There is one other possibility. The greatest minds of Alag unlocked a science known as cloning, by which they could artificially create a replicant of a living being. Seal Rock is, after all, a construction of the Allagan Empire. Assuming the individual you battled was indeed a clone of Master Sari, then my senses would recognize no appreciable difference. An exact copy of the original person would explain much, but the very thought of it is horrifying. Oh, and did he not tamper with your enchantments? Are you truly unharmed? My faculties are undimmed, but the wisdom I was to impart to Master has been sealed behind an arcane lock. I can do nothing. Only my creator holds the key. Then your secrets are lost to us. If only Arentel had been able to attempt that third challenge. Master has already passed it. Allow me to explain. The third challenge is a test of the summoner's nature. Thus does the trial require the presence of companions and a realistic threat. Master Sari's ambush did, of course, bring an unexpected dimension to proceedings. Yet Master leapt to the aid of his fellow summoners without hesitation, and braved considerable danger to see that they were safely rescued. Selfless acts that more than qualify Master as a worthy successor. I'd wondered why power and skill were not sufficient. So Sari wanted to see his teachings passed on to summoners of noble heart. Correct. He could not countenance the idea that such knowledge might be put to evil ends. Now you understand why his display of violence so confused me. Aye, and all the more reason to suspect an impostor. But whatever this man's identity may be, we will track him down and make him remove that seal. Your purpose is too important. I put too much sugar in my coffee. Disgusting. Damn. It's gonna be a fucking long drink. And I will assist you in any way I can. The Master Sari that made me would not stand to see his memory profaned with such wickedness. Well said, Prin. For an enchanted stack of ink and parchment, you have an impressively developed moral compass. I possess neither morals nor compass. I merely follow my enspelled directions to guide worthy summoners. If I give the impression of such characteristics, the mayhap I'm overstepping my bounds as a familiar. No, you're fine, Prin. Forget I mentioned it. I will see if I can unearth more detailed records of Master Sari. Mayhap the story of his later life will aid us in unraveling this present mystery. What misfortune! I already read that! Get a new line! I searched through the usual histories, but found scant mention of Sari. Tis as Prin has said. Records of his existence have all but been expunged. And since my own knowledge is limited to the day I was stored away, we must rely on those lost Allagan records that escaped the Purge. My colleague, Ramrose, may be able to help us there. Hardly a day goes past that when his team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Mordona. Shall we pay him a visit? Come, we should visit Ramrose at St. Quinnox's Find. He's sure to have something that survives the purge of Sari's history. I would tell you the story of spending several thousand years locked in a dark room, but I fear I slept through most of it. gotta do the Monster Hunter crossover at some point. Mind, there's like zero rush on that because like it's not limited. It'll be there forever. But like I kind of want the mount, and like I kind of just want to get it done. Maybe, you know what? If I don't finish Summoner, that's actually a really good thing to do, right? Because because like I'm only gonna have like 2 or 3 quests left at most. So I just finish Summoner, and then I just go do the fucking Monster Hunter crossover, get the funny mount, hear the funny music, take some fucking screenshots. Ah, hello, Arndel. I've just been explaining our dilemma to Rambrose here. Yamitra has informed me of your search, and I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of the Sari. There may, however, be a swifter way to acquire the information you seek. I know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tomestones with even greater zeal than the sons of Saint Koinak. Ah, you speak of Rowena. We have formed something of a symbiotic relationship with her consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you would find her amenable to a request for assistance. After all, we would merely need to borrow her tomestones for a time, yes? Here, I've penned a letter with my personal reassurances that her stock will be returned none the worse for wear. Take that letter to Rowena and ask to borrow her tomestones. I'm sure you will have no trouble coming to a mutually beneficial agreement. Damn. If I wasn't on a time crunch... I thought it was a red mage for a moment. I mean, it is a mage, and it is red. You have Rambro's letter, yes? I'll let you do the haggling. What are these merchants? What do you do? What's your deal? Oh. Interesting. Curious. Uh-huh. I see. Very, very interesting. Anyway. What can I do for you? So, you've the backing of old Rambrose, eh? Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to lend you some of my tomestones. In fact, I'll do you one better. I'll let you borrow the transcripts, courtesy of the scribes of the ironworks. As books, they're a damn sight heavier, but you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more coin if they know what they're getting. And my time is too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena, and thank you. Well, Arntel, shall we get to work? Fancy that. I've barely begun skimming the very first volume, and there are already some promising passages. Let us wake Prin and share our findings, shall we? Ah, Rambrose, have you come to check on our progress? This charming tome is Principa, a sentient familiar of ancient Alag. A pleasure to meet you, Master Rambrose. Pray call me Prin, if you prefer. Thank you, Prin. And might I say what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct. Clever? Well, yes, actually. Apparently Prin was written that way. In fact, we were just hoping to hear an opinion on a new snippet of information I've uncovered. It was an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications commanding that the fruits of the Master Summoner's research be seized. It appears that the army had more than a passing interest in Sari's experiments. And what exactly was the purpose of their research? Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with etherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums and sought to manifest Edgy of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations. Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it? Correct. But Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments. No matter how they magnified his power, he would not place his trust in machines. Their inherently complex nature was too prone to error, he said. The dates on these communications indicate a time in the latter half of Sari's life. It is possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may have greatly altered the summoner's outlook. There was, of course, the violent wave of anti-summoner sentiment that swept through Alag. It claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within his laboratory. Such an incident could certainly be responsible for changing man. In Principa, you are unaware of subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes? From what we've learned so far, it is safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way. And there are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf and ask to borrow the sharp minds of a summoner squad. 'Tis a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own. Well, seeing as you have the transcripts, there's no need to travel far. You are welcome to make use of my tent and the reference material on Alag found therein. That would be an enormous help, thank you. Let's haul these books to the dig site, shall we? Our summoner colleagues arrived with a swiftness after I relayed to them our request. It is well to see them recovered from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful. Ah, here's the bugger I was looking for. This is a record of when the military finally caught up with Sari. It says here the summoner was found dead, killed by someone else it seems. There, we have proof of the original Sari's demise in the Third Astral Era. Now there remains a question of who or what attacked us in this age. My coin is on one of those clone creations. Is there aught more to the story, Lieutenant? It goes on to describe how the Imperial Army took over Sari's research, lauding his experiments as exceptionally dangerous but ripe with potential applications. They shifted operations into an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later, though, and that was the end of that. This artificial island must be a reference to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter with the present-day Sari. During the battle, my creator's simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple edgies simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. The basis of every one of these unorthodox techniques can be tracked back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhanced summoning. I'd say we have enough evidence to support a working theory then, namely that the Allagan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments, tests which explored the feasibility of etherochemically bolstered summoning magic. And when we landed on Seal Rock, we must have somehow awoken the remnants of those experiments. Mayhap we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was, but now I would know the place to where he fled. What refuge exists for such a being? From what I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Etherochemical Research Facility. Oh! It's... Aziz's Law. Ah, there it is. You know of this place, sir? Is it far? Reasonably. It's like over Giovanni somewhere. Aziz's Law. If that's where they were keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Our squad will fly back to Seal Rock and make further investigations. The relics of the past may hold some hint we haven't yet considered. An excellent idea, thank you. We shall return to Gridania for the time being. You know, like they already have an edgy form for the Sephiroth minions. No, I don't think they do for like Leviathan, and I doubt they do for Jervan, Sophia. But you don't need edgy forms because after 90 you just summon the whole fucker. Please, I'm begging you. Hands and knees. We have an excuse. We're more rejoined. We have more essence to spend. Ardbert can get 3 more. Thank you, Ardbert. You're so cool. Wait a minute. No. They're always there. For a second, I thought, no, because they're back in Doma. That wouldn't make any sense. Never mind. I thought it was, I don't remember their names. Good. This simulacrum of Master Sari has sought to obstruct my creator's will, and I shall offer it no quarter. You deserve to learn the wisdom within my pages. I received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations on Seal Rock, which seemed that certain of the Allagan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more in way of useful information. However, I fear we must brave this Aziz's Law facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said, "I will be waiting"? It is possible. I did not think the detail important at the time, but that the lock engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not of the strictest tier. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. Then he was goading us into finding and defeating him. Another challenge, or is it simply a trap? Probably a bit of column A, bit of column B. I'm not fond of rushing into the unknown. Gird yourself for the worst, Starntel, and I will learn the present circumstances of the research facility. I've learned all there is to be learned about the research facility. The time has come to make our move. From what my sister and her colleagues have told me, the laboratories are housed in an extremely dangerous quadrant of Az's Law. Will not want to wander around inviting trouble, but rather plot the swiftest and safest route to our destination. There should be a terminal somewhere that will allow us to pinpoint the section where Sari's research is being stored. Once we arrive on Az's Law, finding such a terminal will be our highest priority. I've informed Captain Wolf of our forthcoming expedition. He insisted that he and his summoner squad provide us with support. Let us make ready and meet them at Helix. Az's Law, Sari could hardly have chosen a more distant place to take refuge. The name of Az's Law is known to me. Its facilities were constructed by the oppressors in the military. However, so I was never welcome there. Everywhere I turn, there's a new wonder. I've pinched myself 10 times already just to be sure I was awake. So, this is what you get when you fuse the arcane with the mechanical, and neither is diminished by the result. There are beasts from my worst nightmares simply strolling around up here. Prin tells me that they would have been contained in the days when the Elegans yet worked at this facility. Have these ruins truly existed for thousands of years? It's all so bright and sharp. Az's Law is even more fantastical than I had imagined, but we mustn't let... But we mustn't let ourselves be distracted by the scenery. We should fan out and search for a control panel of some description. You mean that one? Aye, then we plunge ahead. And we can use that to plan the simplest route to our objective, yes? Aye, then we plunge ahead, swift and sure, and bring an end to this bastard clone. That is my intention. Tis important to note, however, that we have yet to determine if our enemy is truly a clone or not. Even an artificial copy would appear as a living, breathing being. The man you fought on Seal Rock seemed almost otherworldly. I'm inclined to agree with you, Yamitra. But no matter what he is, we need to slay him to lift Prin's seal. The job remains the same. True enough, then we should first focus on finding that terminal. Arntel, if you would pray search around the base of the Warring Triad statues. Keep your guard up. If Sari knows we're coming, he may have prepared a welcome. I'm just topping off my coffee. I found that the caffeine content of my coffee does not substantially change between a full pot and a half pot. It appears to be like past half a pot. I'm just watering it down, basically. Caffeine content wise, all else, who fuck knows? And maybe with like higher quality coffee, yada 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 yada. I guess. But I put too much water in the reservoir today. So I'm stuck drinking 1.5 times as much coffee as I generally try to, just to get the same fucking caffeine content. Where am I looking for? I found it. I found a terminal. Perish. Thank you, Solar Bahamut. Very cool. I predicted you would be the first to find me. A lesser summoner would have been slain. I am in fact very cool. Arentel. Sari's clone, it's here. Clone. Ah, you seek to explain my existence. An understandable theory, but I'm far more than one of those clumsy creations. You had best abandon this flawed perception, lest it lead you down the path to failure. I shall await you inside. Potential. You will pass my test, your true final challenge, or you will die never knowing what I truly am. Thal'Sith. He's gone again. Did you see that, Arentel? The way he vanished. 'Tis akin to the dismissal of a summoned entity. So you're saying he's some sort of edgy, one that's wearing Sari's face. But how can he look so solid and, well, alive? With the aid of a computational machine, it would be theoretically possible to reconstruct Aether into a near-perfect replica of Sari's corporeal form. He was summoned using a machine? Correct. Master Sari's research to develop mechanical substitutes for grimoires. In fact, the lieutenant is standing right in front of me. Or right in front of one. This thing, it looks a bit like them Tomliths on Steel Rock. Only they was much bigger. Gods, can the bugger pop up anywhere there's one of these devices? I think we can now safely assume that this Sari is the product of enhanced summoning magic. But our answer leaves us with yet another question. If Sari is the edgy, then who is the summoner? Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine, there must still exist the one who commands it. We've got to find the master then. If we don't squash the summoner, the bastard will the bastard will just bring the Sari edgy back again and again and again. Whoever the bastard may be, he or she must be concealed somewhere nearby, and an entity will always be summoned within a certain distance of the summoner. Even machine-enhanced techniques cannot circumvent this basic principle. That our antagonist chose not to make an appearance on Steel Rock suggests a reluctance to expose oneself to direct harm. In this location, however, with so many computational devices near to hand, I expect the foe's art will be significantly bolstered. So the edgy will be even stronger than last time. All the more reason to take down the summoner quickly before we're swamped by ethereal horrors. Well, I've brought a little device that should help. An etherometer. I borrowed from my sister Shola. If I can detect the right currents, it should lead us straight to our hidden enemy. Excellent, Ymithra. This may make all the difference. Right. Let's be about this then. Summoner squad, take the van and clear the way forward. We've been waiting for our chance to prove ourselves. Ye just focus on finding the summoner, and we'll sweep aside the dregs. Whatever support ye need, sir, we'll be here to give it. We'll not leave till you've busted that summoner's head and got the rewards ye damn well deserve. Well, you couldn't ask for a more dramatic locale for a final confrontation. Assuming we survive all this, we'll sure have a tale to tell our barracks mates. We've not been idle since that last debacle, sir. I'm eager to show you the results of our training. Now who I want to talk to? Go forth and defeat this imposter, Master. The wisdom of my creator belongs to you. The Summoner Squad will see to it that we have a clear path through the facility. Let us move swiftly and repay their dedication with a resounding victory. Ready for round 2, Arntel? The terminal has provided us with a direct route to the research storage chamber. We're going to rip through this facility and take Sari's clone apart. It is an ethereal entity, Captain Wolf, not a clone. And I must point out that your true objective is the summoner rather than the servant. Right, I knew that. As you planned then, Summoner Squad, front and center. Give Arntel a clear path. Aye, Captain. Yamitra, you're in charge of finding whoever's pulling this imposter Sari's strings. Let's go. Wonderful. You've done well to make it this far. The summoner has to be around here somewhere. Yamitra, use your gadget. I'll buy you some time. We came here to remove the seal you put on Principa. Do as we ask, and this can all end peacefully. I'm sorry, Captain. I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. To do so would run contrary to the purpose for which I was created. Surely by now you've come to realize my true nature. You are an Agi in the form of my creator, and existence made possible through a fusion of summoning magic and etherochemical technology. But while Master Sari was the last of the great summoners of Alag, you are not more than an elaborate imitation, and you are no match for the summoner who now stands before you. Very good, but your conjecture has missed the mark. What I am is a defense mechanism that is capable of self-enhancement in order to combat ever greater threats. Shall I parse this in simple terms? In the event that I encounter a presence with greater potential than Sari, I am compelled to harness that potential through main force and compose its aether into a new guardian entity. You mean to kill Arntel and make an Agi of the Warrior of Light? Have we reached an understanding? A peaceable conclusion to this encounter was never forthcoming. His reasoning has broken down. Your deeds have saved countless lives and will continue to do so. How can one justify killing you, Master, when you embody the very principles for which summoning magic was invented? Yamitra, and any luck on finding that summoner? I've just finished tracing the threads. The camouflage is impressive, but I am still shocked that we missed something of that size. Our true enemy is up there. It's an orb. How observant of you. You have uncovered Master Summoner Sari's greatest masterpiece, an artificially sentient evocation matrix. The complexity of my design simply cannot be compared to the primitive principles used in Principa's construction. Your defeat is inevitable. Tough talk for an aging machine whose logic channels have obviously rusted with disuse. Master, might you and your companions dispose of this unsightly and unseemly amalgamation of refuse. Based. I got the white one. Shit. Oh, I have Debbie Bahamut. Shit. At 70? They changed it. Okay. I'm not gonna complain. He's cool as fuck. I commend the attempt, but unfortunately I am level 100, so, ow. Uh-oh. You know what? I really hope, the fact they haven't done any variant dungeons in Dawn Trail is a little disappointing. And I really hope that we do get more variant dungeons. And dude, a fucking variant dungeon in Ultima Thule would go so fucking hard. Like, the, different paths could be, different, amalgamated worlds. We could get even more lore on, these various lost civilizations. The mount could be R'ala. I want R'ala as a mount. So, a machine built by Sari was summoned in Eji, what looked like Sari. The Elegans didn't see much use for the line betwixt idea and reality, did they? Congratulations, sir. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine a thinking machine could be the villain behind all this chaos. I wish I could have seen your victory firsthand. As things stood, we were far too busy keeping the rest of the facility's hostiles at bay. An inspiring triumph, Master. Your coordination with Lady Ymithra and Captain Wolf was truly a thing of beauty. Where is Captain Wolf? A stunning victory, Arntel. We've won the day, but Captain Wolf wished to stay behind and conduct a thorough search. I told him it was still too dangerous to wander around alone, but the captain is a stubborn man. Not to worry though. If aught should happen, we'll soon charge off to fight at his side. Captain Wolf will call if he needs us. We should be celebrating here. Does that not mean Prin's seal is now broken? Master's success is indeed something to be celebrated. I was not crafted to experience emotion, but I do feel a certain rustle of satisfaction in my pages. Once you've mastered them high and mighty techniques, you'll be stronger than ever. Well, I think I'd rather learn by your example anyway, instead of from musty scrolls written by some long-dead Allegan scholar. It is in the hopes of achieving just such an outcome that I awoke from my slumber. The art of summoning is for the living, as my creator was once so fond of declaring. Arndel, Prin, let us say our farewells for the moment. Thank you for your aid, everyone. We could not have done this without you. Don't get lazy with your summoning now. The next time we meet, I mean to be your equal in the art. So a machine was using machines to summon Edgy. Can you even call that magic anymore? Or is it just another form of technology? We will wait here for the captain. As much as I would have liked to assist you in the main battle, I'm proud that we contributed to your success. Take me home. Gridania Roads. I wonder if I have another, like, super small side thing I could do. It would have been perfect to do in the All Saints Wake stream. Oh well. The next seasonal event is going to be... what is it actually called? Heaven's Turn. And that's not going to be for another few months. I don't want to wait that long. Maybe I'll do it as a part of one of the Raid Wing streams. I don't know. Welcome back, Master. It is almost that time. I completed a thorough investigation of the research facility before I left. My findings were worth the time and danger, I think. Welcome back, Arndel. You were only meant to face 3 challenges, and we ended up chasing your prize into the heavens themselves. As expected, an unexpected development, which you handled with exceptional grace, Master. And now, at long last, I can finally bequeath to you the highest secrets of summoning. Pray step forward. What a momentous occasion. The wisdom of the last of Alag's Master Summoners is yours. Ere you depart to explore your newfound powers, however, Captain Wolf has a report for us. It should explain much of what occurred on Az's Law. Well, I wanted to be sure that machine was truly undone, and after poking around inside it, I discovered a number of soul crystals. According to Principa, they belonged to Sari's disciples. The captain also unearthed a tombstone containing undoctored records of that age. It would seem that following the murder of his students, Sari became increasingly bitter. He began to doubt that the future could be safely entrusted to the capricious whims of mortals. Instead, he explored other methods by which new generations might be safeguarded from the threat of primals. He committed himself to etherochemical research. As you may have surmised, the evocation matrix was the end result of Master Sari's toil. Drawing on its embedded soul crystals and unrivaled computational power, this terrible invention was capable of manifesting a veritable host of ethereal avatars. Once he was satisfied with his work, Sari commanded the machine to act as civilization's mightiest guardian, and then he killed himself. His ethereal essence was absorbed, and a formidable Edgy was added to his invention's arsenal. So now you know the truth of it. What a price to pay to ensure that the art of summoning survived into the morrow. After failing to protect his disciples, I wonder if he meant to preserve their soul crystals in their stead. Even if that were his intention, he chose the wrong way to achieve it. Prin here is the embodiment of the hopeful ideals of Sari's younger self. The murderous machine of his later years is the product of frustration and anger and grief. Ah, but what shall we do with the crystals? We can't risk them falling into the hands of another villain like Tristan. If you wish, I could swallow the crystals and hold them safe until another era has need of them. My enchantments would ensure that they pass only into the hands of the worthy. Swallow? You mean to eat them? Fear not, Captain. I have no digestive tract of which to speak. And now that I have instructed Master in the wisdom of Allag, this task shall be the last I perform ere I return to slumber. Wait, so this is farewell? Correct, or mayhap more appropriately, good night. As a familiar, I'm not enspelled to experience loneliness. I was, however, written with the knowledge that it is best not to draw out a parting of ways with needless sentimentality. No tears for you then, Prin? Summoning magic was created to combat the threat of primals. The ideal world is one in which I never need again awaken. Wield the art well, Master. Off to Dreamland, just like that. I suppose Prin's purpose is served, and that's the same as happiness to a familiar. Speaking of serving one's purpose, I think it's time I took my leave. Aye, the tasks of the morrow beckon us all. Let us do what we may, so that Prin might rest peacefully for many years to come. Wahoo! Stormblood done. Huzzah! DPS quest. Help. Found it. Oh, okay. Arntel, I was just about to contact the Scions to ask after my sister, and here you are to provide a report in person. What news? To the first. One of the 13 reflections, you mean? I had thought my field of expertise a complicated one, but I struggled to comprehend the enormity of your tale. Still, Shula seems to be faring well enough, and for that I'm grateful. Ah, yes, before I forget, I actually had a message to pass on to you. Do you recall Summoner Jajasamu, formerly of the Company of Heroes and current member of the Immortal Flames Summoner Squad? He commands both an Ifrit and Titan Edgy, and is likely one of the more seasoned. well, I am sure you would remember. He's in Gridania on leave, as it happens, and asked me to direct you to the Carleen Canopy should you stop by for one of your unpredictable visits. I believe he wished to consult you on some private matter. It would be kind of you to lend him an ear, if you've a moment or two to spare. Have you spoken with the lieutenant? I believe he wishes to speak with you, summoner to summoner. Bloody hells, I was just thinking about ye, and there you are. Ymithra had a word on me behalf, I take it. Well, let's not stand on ceremony. I'll not mince words with ye. I need some advice concerning concerning summoners in Mortal Kombat. They tell me ye've a special nature what prevents primals from enthralling your mind. So what I want to know is, what's your thinking on being sent out to the front lines every time a beast tribe scraps together a pile of crystals? I'm happy to be able to help. So ye just see it as your rightful place. Folk need your help, and you've been blessed with the means to help them. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Me, I'm in it for the coin. Have it ever since I sold me spells with the Company of Heroes. Most of these soldiers I marched with ain't much different. We're happy to put our lives on the line as long as there's a purse waiting for us at the end of the day. The pair were joined in our last skirmish, though. No, that's a whole nother story. You've heard of Arenvald and Fordola, aye? The lad's one of the scions, same as you. No mystery there. As for the lass, she's a bit more complicated. Former officer in the Imperial Army, captured by the Resistance, and steps away from the noose, fighting for Alamigo as a conscript now, which is the only reason she's still breathing. Barely more in Sprouts, the both of them, and they were deployed with the Flames to assist with down in Ifrit. From what I hear, they share your resistance to primal influence, and that's why that's the whole reason they had the dubious honor of standing in the thick of the flames. Meanwhile, me and fellow summoners were cowering in the shadows, sending out our edgy to support these youngsters who would have seen less than 40 summers between them. Can't say I cared much for the experience. It bothered me to think they was being made to fight a battle what wasn't theirs, just because of who they are. Do ye think ye could talk to him for me? Ask how they feel about the whole thing. You're about the only person I can turn to. Methinks. You'll find Arenvald in Rhalgr's Reach, and he'll know where to find Fordola. I'll tell him to meet you by the Aetheryte. Fordola does it because she is a, like, irredeemable war criminal and kind of feels bad about that, I guess. Arenvald does it because he's a real swell dude. Arenvald was in Rhalgr's Reach last I heard. If you could ask him me questions, it'd sure help me sleep at night. Arndel, I heard you had returned from Judge Osamu. What can I do for our honored champion? Judge Osamu said that. We joined them against Ifrit, but I just thought him more annoyed by our presence than concerned for our well-being. Why don't I save you some time and include Fordola in this conversation? We can visit her in her cell over in the city. Are you gonna teleport me there? Please? Thank you. Fair evening to you, Fordella. You again, and I see you've brought company. What is it now? For whom do you fight? My thoughts on fighting primals? Is that what you came all the way here to ask me about? I fight because I like the idea that I can help others, the feeling that my presence is needed. Not hard to explain, considering how my own mother decided she didn't want me around. And then there was the nightmare at the Waking Sands. Ababa and Aluli, gave their lives to save mine, and I strive to be the sort of man whose life was worth saving. How very honorable, but no such lofty ideals rule my actions. My own will doesn't come into it. Fighting was part of the deal when they conscripted me with the other convicts. I follow orders, and I get to live. And if I die on the battlefield, no one would shed a tear. Don't say that. You think I'd be glad to see you killed? Yeah, you'd be about the only person who wasn't. What about you, hero? You're usually the first one they throw into the Dragon's Maw. Let's hear what battles you've been made to fight. I joined the struggles of a man seeking to save a companion. You're saying you were involved in the affairs of a man who had passed through the rift between worlds. Someone who's been wandering as a ghost for 100 years. I'm not sure if you're the realm's greatest champion or the realm's greatest liar. I believe you are, Intel, and want to follow the path you walk. Even if I could never hope to carry the same burdens, I can at least work towards having a sturdier back. Speaking of burdens, you know a little something about that, don't you, Fordella? You weren't fighting for yourself after all, but for your comrades. You were not so Don't pretend my gift is anything like yours. I wanted it. I asked for it even, but got more burden than I bargained for. How many souls were sacrificed for that research? No, the power that they gave me was tainted from the beginning. But if I can do some good with it, then maybe they didn't die for naught. Satisfied, then leave me be. I've got training to do. If you're waiting for the lad in silver armor, he should be out here soon. She still snarls like a chained dog. Amidst all that growling, though, she gave us a glimpse of her true self, enough that I'll know when to lend a shoulder, even if she wouldn't let me see her suffering. Now, don't be getting the wrong idea. Same age, same homeland. I can't help but care a little about what happens to her. Anyway, I have my own training to think of. Give my regards to Summoner Jajo-Samu. That's more or less the set I want to cobble together for Mulefrintel. No. Mulefren Cattentel. Just a very simple practical adjacent heavy armor set. 100% going to be using the Agathis Greatsword because I've been using or waiting for an excuse to use that fucking glamour forever, and it just does not fit the aesthetic of Arentel Dark Knight. You've been to see them two youngsters then? Huh, so that's the way of it, huh? Well, I shouldn't be surprised, considering the example they've been given to follow. And now that I know how they're approaching these fights, I can adjust my own tactics accordingly. One's passionate, and the other's reckless, so they'll both need some watchful support. I'll do what I can to stand in for ye, though I doubt I'll ever replace ye. They'll call me the second best summoner in Eorzea. How's that for humble? Right, I think it's past time I was on me way. Give me best to Ymithra, Arentel, and thanks for humoring me request. Holy shit, it's gonna be just over 2 hours. I think I did pretty good. And I could technically go for about another 30. Give or take. I'm probably just gonna call it at the end of this, because the next thing on my docket would probably be the Monster Hunter collab, and that's probably at least an hour of content. Not mentioning I'd have to jump over to Aether to have any hope of getting a queue, so... Everything went well with the lieutenant, I trust. I won't pry into the details, but I'm glad to see you looking so content. To master summoning is an arduous journey, yet I imagine the going is made far smoother with a mentors such as you. I am somewhat envious of your younger colleagues. And if I am to mirror their progress, I must not allow my own scholarly research to fall by the wayside. Good day to you, Arentel. 'Tis good to see you well, Arentel, though I wish my sister would have at least given forewarning before embarking on such a journey. That said, I am full glad to know you are all returned to us hale and whole. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn have disbanded. Well, I should think even a monumentous change such as that will do little to sway Stola from the pursuit of knowledge. That goes for me as well. The star may have been saved, but it is no reason for me to abandon my quest for knowledge of the Elegant Empire. In fact, the recent discovery of elegant ruins in Bosra, among other places, has found the Sons of St. Quinoc increasingly busy of late. So, do not be surprised if we call upon you again in the future. Well, there we go. That is Summoner complete. Let's take a quick look at the New Game Plus section. I'm never doing this on stream. I did this on stream. These are all done. This is maybe at some point, possibly. I don't even think I have this on my stream plan. I have no idea what this is, but it's probably tied to, Dawntrail. Christ. Yeah. Variant dungeons. I should probably do that at some point. But anyway, so next stream, I will be going through the Monster Hunter collab just to get that out of the way. And I don't know, maybe I'll do the Legacy of Louisoix just to like, get that done. Because it's like, it's there, right? But I want to thank anyone who's stopping by who did. I really appreciate anyone who gives me the time of day. And until I stream again, have a good one all.